In last video, I talked about error handling middleware. In this video, I'll talk about error handling middleware more detail. In every project, error handling is very important, as if you don't handle error properly, then your app may crash and your client may face a bad user experience. If you write synchronous code, then Express will handle error for us automatically. And if you write asynchronous code, then you have to manually handle the error. I'll show you them by example. For example, I'll throw an error from example route. So new error, test error. If you save the file, go to Postman and send a request to example route. We got error and we got test error. Or if we try to do a console.log xyz is not defined yet here. We save the file, go to Postman, send a request. We can see our reference error xyz is not defined. Alright, now we can see Express handle this error and send response to client. Now question is, we have not handled this error, but how are we getting this error? Actually, Express.js has a built-in error handling middleware. If there is no custom error handling middleware work, then behind the scene, this Express.js error handling middleware will work. And this built-in error handling middleware is invisible, and that is set at the end of all your code. But it is always a good idea to handle error by custom error handling middleware. If we try to create a custom error handling middleware like const error middleware, it's a function. It takes 4 parameters. First parameter is error, then request, then response, and finally next. If we try to console error here, console.log error and send a response, custom error handling. After that, you have to use this error handling middleware, app.use error middleware. If you save the file, go to Postman and send a request, we can see custom error handling. Alright, this error is an object. There is a property of this object is message. If we try to console.log error.message, save the file, go to Postman, custom error handling, and you can see error message only, xyz is not defined. There is another property of this error object which is stack. We will try to console.log error.stack, save the file, go to Postman and send a request again. We can see xyz is not defined. This is error message, and this is all the stack of this error. Error stack means detailed error, in which line the error is happened. Alright, if we try to call next function with error parameter without sending response back to client, then the Express built-in error handling middleware catch this error like next error.message. Remember, next with parameter which is handled by error handling middleware. And I told you earlier, Express.js has a built-in error handling middleware. When we pass this error, this Express.js built-in error handling middleware catch this error. If we save the file, go to Postman and send a request, we got xyz is not defined, which is coming from error.message. Our error.message is xyz is not defined. If we send error.stack and save the file, go to Postman, send a request, we got detailed error. Alright, now I'll show you another example for asynchronous error handling. First of all, I'll take fs module to show you asynchronous error handling. Const fs is equals to require fs. I'll try to read file asynchronously. We already talked about how to read file asynchronously. I'll read this file in example route fs.read file. This read file is a function. It takes first parameter file name. For example, I'll set a file name test.txt, which is not exist in our project, and we expect that it will throw us an error. The second parameter is a callback function. Within callback function, it takes first parameter error, and the second parameter is data. For example, I'll send response of the file data. I'll do if data exists, then send a response.send with data. If we save the file, go to Postman, send a request. We don't get any response as we don't have any data, and still we did not get any error, though the test.txt file is not exist. I told you earlier, we have to handle manually the error for asynchronous coding. So what we can do, we can call next function with a error parameter. Remember, next function with a parameter which is handled by error handling middleware. So we can say if there is any error, then we call next function with error. Now if we save the file, go to Postman again, we can see no such file or directory. Remember, when we pass error with next function, then it will handle by either custom error handling middleware or Express.js built-in error handling middleware. We have a custom error handling middleware. Within the custom error handling middleware, we again call next function with error.stake, and again this error will handle by Express.js built-in error handling middleware. So that's all for this error handling, and that's all for Express.js framework section. From next section, I'll start talking about database, which is MongoDB. So that's all for this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture.